Oh my God! Why are you screaming? Seriously.
America, how can you do this to us again? What the hell are we supposed to live another 4 years like this? What the hell? What did you do to us?
Hey, so listen, I'm gonna let y'all know this right now, okay? So you know Trumpets, like, y'all won. I know you're happy, whatever. Nobody acting like bitter losers. However, y'all need to leave me alone. Because I got one more cigarette in me before I start letting your ass up. Alright? And that's where to the United States of America.
Actually, a lot of people are making a lot of noise. This is the fourth video in, and we've encountered multiple mental breakdowns.
Harris did not win. Trump. So So today may look a little different at school. Okay, there are probably going to be friends who have questions, right? I'm sure your teachers are going to.
Like, you are doing your kids a massive disservice. You know this, right?
You shouldn't be doing that.
Fully aware of what you do.
You shouldn't be doing that to your kids, man. That's crazy.
They just found the name Trump in their city, Trump building, and protested there. Bro, he lives in Florida. Bet you won't do that there.
To urge people with ovaries and uteruses and women and anyone who's kind of female at birth to not look at men, not talk to men, not entertain men, not look for validation in men, not center their world and their being and their appearance and their thoughts around men and look for men and up to men on what they should think and what they should decide, because it's clear that they've never seen us as anything but procreation machines and pleasure objects and dolls.
Good question. So does anybody know how to find or hire a hitman for a woman? We don't want to. So, but I think we could pull this off collectively. If you want to chip in, DM.
I beg your pardon?
Crazy part about that statement is that that's an actual threat.
Yeah.
And I'm almost positive that's almost an actionable threat. I'm not sure you should be able to come onto the internet because you are, in fact, not happy with the results of the election. You then start all willy-nilly threatening the president in general. You know what I mean? Here it is. A little crazy, but nothing will happen to her, I'm sure.
I'm so glad you guys got your cheap-ass groceries and your cheap-ass gas because you're broke. You're broke.
So basically, they calling people that voted for Trump broke, and they saying that people are wrong for their choice. That means you. That means me. That means the entire world. If you voted for somebody that they do not like, that is not cool to them. Therefore, you are the problem. It's your boy BOOGOTTINYC, and like I always tell you, you could have went anywhere, but the fact that you came here to chill with me, I appreciate you. Go on over to the website before we run out. I'm warm. Why am I warm? Because today I'm rocking my puff print October sweatshirt, which was dedicated to Breast Cancer Awareness Month, because I love women and I love all people. So we made these in honor and respect to Breast Cancer Awareness Month. This is our puff print sweatshirt. It is oversized, very thick cotton, so comfortable you couldn't even you believe it. And you look so good wearing it. Like, look how I look in this sweater. Like, look at this sweatshirt right here, y'all. Like, look at this. This is fire right here. Look at the back. You know what I'm saying? Check out the back. I'm gonna check out. I also want to show off something else. Yes, inside the neck, it definitely has the name of the company and the size. Yeah, the name and the size is right there. So when you go onto the website, you're going to be able to order sweatshirts, you'll be able to order merchandise, you'll be able to order the actual drink. But I want you guys to come away with that, with something nice. So we made some really good quality sweatshirts that actually look good and feel good on you. Look, you see the B popping off. You see how big that is? That's a 1/4 inch. That's like a 1/4 of an inch thick right there. That print, that's not just screened on there. That's a thick screen. Even the indentations in the words, my guys over at AppSco, they're the masters of the puff print. So they made sure even these little indentations right here, that the puff goes around and you can still feel the indentation. I'm talking about quality. They went all the way out and did this and brought it to life. It's your boy BOOGOTTINYC, and like I always say, you could have went anywhere. But the fact that you came here today, we're looking at a couple of meltdowns. We got Nancy Pelosi and some conspiracy that they basically supposed to be put together where they had something to do with J6. We've also got Trump, a little bit of information that he's talking about right now, where he's going to be putting people as far as in the cabinet and his administration. I'm going to be rocking with you guys for a little while today. I don't really got too much on my plate, so I figured I'd come in and hang out with you guys and get some work done. At the same time, why not run up some numbers and show some information?
Hi, I'm Gary. I'm Trevor, and we live in Kilgee. Been in our system for about 6 years. Okay.
Thank
Thank you so much. We love you so much.
I don't love you.
Well, we love you.
I don't love you.
I hope God.
I do not want your love. I want you to find yourself in a Princess Diana car accident.
Wow.
Really? But why? We love you.
We might.
Guys, what?
I'm confident for every single straight man in my family.
Okay.
Hi. Yelled around and found out. And now this is going to happen. You're welcome. So I am absolutely, now I'm sure, now I'm positive that the yearly hunting trip that y'all have been having, that my father hosts, that my uncle goes on, that my uncles, my brother, my cousins that are like my brothers, their friends that have all known me my entire life, that claim to love and respect me, have been having a yearly claim to love and respect women in general, but obviously.
So because they didn't vote for your candidate, you think that they don't respect women exclusively. That's the reason. And what do you have to do with their vote? Again, people should not be sharing their votes for other people's causes that do not directly affect them.
I was very blindsided by the results this morning.
Me have been having a yearly claim to love and respect women in general, but obviously.
I'm gonna be honest, I was very blindsided by the results this morning. I've decided that cigarettes don't count today, and I honestly might go get a tattoo. But I also have decided that for the next 4 years, I am going to abstain from with men. And funny enough, I actually just broke up with my boyfriend a handful of days before the election. I highly encourage any other women that are single.
Donald Trump has 267 electoral votes. 267. You remember that plan that we came up when we was on vacation on Memorial Day? She was like, yeah, I do. I said, it's time to put that plan into action. So the plan is children. Victoria, BC. I looked it up the first time he went office. Victoria, BC, they're one of the best places for Black people to go. They are one of the warmest places in Canada, and it's not too far from here, from where I live at least. No matter what you do, you will never put up my love. You will never make me give up hope. No matter what you say, no matter what you do, no matter, you will never put up my love.
Shut up!
We are about to enter a political period that will have consequences for the rest of our lives. We now find ourselves in a time in history that has precedent, and we find ourselves in a time where there are times of fascism and authoritarianism.
Okay, so basically what I'm getting from all of this is that the first thing that he's going to do is immediately find a woman and just take her rights away. Is that what the narrative is, guys?
I really do not like crying on the internet, but I'm not even about to pretend like this is shit that I'm gonna be embarrassed about, bro. Like, I ain't never been so devastated behind an election. And it's just like, when you a black woman surrounded by black men, and they say all this, like, oh, he's not that bad, and oh, he just hates everyone, bro. Like, it was my brother, homeboy, I was talking to the other day, a black man, and I found out that he's a Trump supporter. I'm like, he does not like you. And he was like, oh, no, he just don't like everybody. What? So that's a good candidate for you? Someone who just hates everybody? Like, what? And I'm fucking crying in my room this morning. My brother gonna come up in here and say, what's wrong with you? Like, he can't think of one possible reason why I would be upset right now.
Black women, you don't owe this country. You don't owe this country one key thing. Not one anything else. It's time for us to bunker down.
I will not ask you to look for any silver linings. I will not ask you to feel anything but grief right now. Donald Trump won the election, and the consequences will be real and devastating. But I'm reminding myself and you that on the road ahead, there will still be opportunities to fight back.
Did you know that Amazon has a $50 million fund that they have to pay out every month? And here's how you can get a cut of it.
Oh, my God. What does this have to do with a woman, guys?
I just texted my best friend of 14 years. I asked them who they voted for. They said Donald Trump.
Quiet Place, okay. Why do they keep screaming? Why do they keep screaming? You feel better? Did that help you?
I just don't understand why we can't have a female president. Like, why not? Like, how much more qualified and intelligent and, like, perfect for the position do we have to be?
I will make it my life's mission, my dying wish, that none of you weirdos can hide in the future. You can't lie to your kids. You can't lie to your grandkids about, oh, it was so confusing. It was hard to see the truth. He was so convincing. I will not let you get away with that. Like, that was not normal. This is not normal. I will make it clear to everyone. Like, I will make sure no one is confused about how things were right now in this very vital, crucial time in American history, that it was not confusing. It was not confusing at all. You just stood for that. You stood with that and for that. Like, I can't emphasize enough, there will be nowhere to hide.
Oh, Shiver My Timbers! Shut up, man!
Meanwhile, this is being sponsored by www.drinkbigdrip.com. Raspberry, grape, lemon. 14% alcohol by volume. www.drinkbigdrip.com. We also have fantastic merch. Thanks for checking in. Let's go.
You know, everyone says that Election Day should be a national holiday. I agree. I think the day after should also be a national holiday because, like, what do you mean?
2 already. I have lost 2 friends today because of this election.
Guys, we literally don't even have to panic. We literally don't even have to freak out right now. We don't even have to we don't have to freak out. We don't have to freak out because it's not even real. Because, bitch, ring out the vote.
I can't believe Trump's actually gonna win this fucking thing. Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm so pissed off.
Donald Trump is president, and I think all women should stop having for the next 4 years.
All I can say is, how dare you? How dare you put this man into office for another 4 years?
Tell me how I literally went into today genuinely thinking I was gonna witness history. Like, I really, really thought I was going to witness a woman of color become president of the United States.
It seems like they just wanted us to vote for her exclusively because she was a woman. Like, disregarding all the facts that.
Oh man, so that was one take on it, guys, and I just want to let you see this right here because we're looking at as the whole room erupts, as the Capitol Police Chief reveals that Nancy Pelosi's secret role in January 6th protests. Let's see, what's this about?
Phone at approximately 5:34, where I first briefed January 6th, that Mr. Irving said today we're here to discuss the security failures that occurred on January 6th, 2021, and how we can prevent these failures from occurring again. I want to dive into the questions, Chief Stun. In your transcribed interview, you mentioned that you met with the House Sergeant at Arms regarding the National Guard prior to January 6th. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And who was the House Sergeant at Arms leading up to and on January 6th?
That would be Paul Irving.
And the House Sergeant at Arms is appointed by who?
It was appointed at that time by Speaker Pelosi.
And in your transcribed interview, you mentioned that when you first brought up the National Guard to the House Sergeant at Arms in the days leading up to January 6th, that Mr. Irving said he, quote, didn't like the optics, end quote. Is that correct?
That is correct. He referenced being concerned for optics.
And on January 6th, when you went to Mr. Irving to get his approval to call in the Guard, Mr. Irving said he would, quote, run it up the chain. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That was a telephone call. I didn't see him in person when I first made that request.
The House Sergeant at Arms is considered probably the most senior security official on the House side. When Mr. Irving says he has to, quote, run it up the chain, end quote, what did that mean?
I took that to mean his leadership chain.
And who would be his leadership chain? If he's functionally the most senior security official on the House side, correct?
That's his title. That's part of the title, the senior law enforcement official for the House of Representatives. But he would have been referring to the leadership team that goes up to Speaker Pelosi.
So the political leadership team, meaning elected officials, not another security official. Is
that is correct, sir. He's the top security official for the House.
So running up the chain would most likely, or in your opinion, is through the Speaker's office and possibly to the Speaker.
So this gentleman basically had information about January 6th early, and he's on Trump's side basically, and was trying to contact the Speaker's side to let them know what was going on and that they may want to have extra law enforcement out there. But nobody ever said anything about this.
We'll see.
That would be where it ends, yes.
Okay, so let's park that there, and then let's jump to a second set here. In a press conference on January 7th, Speaker Pelosi called for your resignation on national television. Speaker Pelosi also stated that she had not talked to you since the initial breach of the Capitol. But according to your transcribed interview, you were on the phone with Speaker Pelosi a few times. Can you explain that discrepancy?
Yeah, that is correct. I spoke to Speaker Pelosi 3 times that evening, and she went on national TV and said I'd never spoken to her, but I spoke to her 3 times. The three times were the first time when I went over to brief Vice President Pence at the secure location. I called us.
I hate to keep doing this, but again, 3 times. 3 times. Tried to let them know we need extra security. We need people over here. And there might be something that may happen, but they had to clear it in order for it to be stamped and for the actual National Guard to be set up there.
House Sergeant Arms Irving told him I was going over to brief the Vice President. I was also going over to do a personal assessment of the Capitol. At that point, things were getting under control. Went over there, briefed him on when we can get them back into chambers with Mr. Irving being fully aware. He said he wanted to get Speaker Pelosi on the phone. He made a phone call from his cell phone at approximately 5:34, where I first briefed Speaker Pelosi. The second call was when I left that location. As I was walking away, I met up with Mr. Stinger, and we started walking over to the Senate to go brief the Senate. When Jennifer Hemingway, I believe it was Jennifer Hemingway, handed me his cell phone, and it was Emily Barrett's cell phone calling her, and it was Speaker Pelosi on the other line. This is my second call with Speaker Pelosi, questioning the information I'd given to Vice President Pence about when we can get back into chambers. I assured her that information was correct. I could get them back into chambers by 7 p.m., and the call ended. That was call number 2. Call number 3 was 6:25 p.m. I was over at the Senate from the secure location, from where the Senate had been sequestered. And on a cell phone using Robert Karam's cell phone, they dialed leadership, who was over offsite at a secure location, and I briefed all of leadership of the plans to get them back into chambers. That would have been call number 3 with Speaker Pelosi.
So you didn't have one call, you didn't have 2 calls, you had 3 calls. So Speaker Pelosi's comments that she didn't speak to were inaccurate.
That is correct, sir.
Let me shift gears and go back as it relates to the optics of bringing people up to Capitol Hill and running things up the chain of command, ultimately to the Speaker's office. Do you think Speaker Pelosi's office or Speaker Pelosi herself politicized Capitol security?
I have no idea on that, sir.
Okay. Any other clarifications you'd like to make as it relates to Speaker Pelosi's comments that you didn't speak to her?
I just, wish she had considered that. Wish she had considered some of the stuff that I faced and the efforts I went through to bring in the outside resources on that day before she called for her resignation.
Speaker, why wasn't the National Guard here?
No, my question to you, I'm asking the question to you.
And I gave you the answer.
Did you talk to the president, former president, before, during, or after the attack on the Capitol? Or was it all 3? The reason why I ask is that, you had 84 days since you said you couldn't remember it and you would check. So if you could just clarify the record, was it before, during, or after the attack on the
I talked to the president after the attack.
So not before or during?
Right.
Okay, and
I've been clear about that. But here, let me ask you a question. You brought up January 6th.
But my understanding is that you said to a reporter from Politico that you spoke to him during. So it was now after the attack, or you?
During. No, I didn't speak to the president during the attack.
So you admitted to speaking to the former president on January 6th, the same day you voted to overturn the election. Facts be damned. And although you've routinely suggested that you're just another member of Congress, speaking with the president, your name comes up again and again in regards to efforts to overturn the election. There is even reporting that back on December 27th, then President Trump spoke with then acting Attorney General Jeffrey Rosen and others to discuss how to reverse Biden's win. An official who was on that call, Richard Donahue, notes you, Mr. Jordan, as a lawmaker who was referenced. This is the same meeting where President Trump told the Justice Department, according to handwritten notes from Mr. Donahue, and I quote, "Just say that the election was corrupt and quote, leave the rest to me and our congressman." Did you discuss with President Trump a coordinated effort to overturn the results?
That's a little messy. But let's check this out real quick.
Want to start a podcast, but not sure how.
I don't really understand where they're going with that, but I just want to keep going to listen to this.
The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, we call it the CFPB, has struck again. It has made another bad decision. This by an agency that has become famous for bad decisions. Here's what's going on, Mr. President. You remember the Dodd-Frank Act, of course, which this Congress passed after the financial meltdown in 2007, 8, and 9. There was a section in the Dodd-Frank Act called Section 1071, fairly innocuous. Congress directed certain information to be collected about small business loans. We were curious about small business lending in America. And so we directed in this Section 1071, we directed certain covered financial institutions. I call them small banks because most business loans to small business people come from small banks. We directed small banks to start collecting information about their loans to small business people because we wanted to know, see if we could do something to make their services more efficient. And we, the Congress, asked that 13 pieces of information be collected the sort of stuff, Mr. President, that you would imagine, very routine stuff, like, what was the date of the loan, small business loan, how much was the loan, that sort of thing. Well, the CFPB has taken our work and totally perverted it. The CFPB has promulgated a rule that totally perverts our intention in Section 1071 of the Dodd-Frank Act. First, we intended only small businesses to be covered in providing this information. Now, if you look at the definition of a small business, which is most people use it, of small business women and small businessmen when they come to the bank and ask for a loan. The bank has to ask the small business person how long it's been in business. That's fair. The bank has to ask the small business woman or small business man about its annual revenue. That's fair. The bank, but then it gets a little intrusive. It gets a lot intrusive. The bank has to ask the small business woman or small business man what their race is. The bank has to ask the small business person about their ethnic background. The small bank has to ask the small business person if he's a male.
So I'm sorry, I know y'all gonna kill me for this, but I had to show you that because look at the things that these banks are doing with the information that they're giving. So what they're doing is they're giving, that's like what Kevin Hart did when his mother sent him to school and told him to say one thing, but he blew it up. So what they're doing is including these other questions to find out your race, your ethnic background, and your gender to actually put towards the fact to see if they're going to give you any money.
The bank has to ask the small business person if she's a female. Should be obvious to many, but those questions have to be asked. The bank has to ask the small business person if that person is a lesbian. The bank has to ask the small business person if that person is gay. The bank has to ask that small business person if that small business person is bisexual. The small bank has to ask its customer, that small business person, if that small business person is transgender. The bank, according to the CFPB, has to ask that small business person who is applying for a loan, just came in for a loan for the business, if that person is, quote, queer. The small bank has to ask that small business person if the small business person is intersex. And not only does the bank have to ask those private questions of the person from the small business applying for the loan, the person applying for the loan on behalf of the small business has to bring in every one of its owners who own 25% or more. And the bank's got to start over with those people. Are you a male? Are you a female? What's your race? Tell me about your ethnic background. Are you a lesbian? Are you gay? Are you bisexual? Are you transgender? Are you, quote, queer? Are you, quote, intersex? Give me a break.
I think it's intrusive and I think it doesn't make sense. And why would they add all of that stuff to a questionnaire or document just to decide if they're going to give you money or not? People, be safe with your information, even if banks and people are asking you for it, because to be honest with you, what they're really doing is trying to pool information to see who you are, where you're from, people that you're around, and they're being intrusive. So don't go for it. Just don't go for it. Here goes some new information on PDitty that I found out.
What you looking at, babe?
Cars on cars.com.
What's wrong with this one?
I just got promoted, so I'm looking for something more.
So let's see.
Ciao.
2 million cars for 2 million possibilities. Cars.com. Where to next?
Right now, I'm taking over my pop's Instagram. We're gonna be posting videos, spreading, good energy.
Sean Combs' son has taken over his father's Instagram, posting a message of positivity, but there has been blowback. The question is, could this play into Sean Combs' legal case at all? I'm going to bring on acclaimed celebrity criminal defense attorney, Brian McMonigal. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Interesting development in the Sean Combs case. Wasn't expecting this one. So as the 55-year-old sits behind bars in a Brooklyn detention center awaiting trial, currently scheduled for next year on federal sex trafficking, racketeering, and prostitution charges, and as he faces multiple sexual assault lawsuits, even from people who claim that Diddy abused them when they were minors, like 10 years old. As all of this is going on, Diddy's son, Christian King Combs, just announced that he is taking over his father's Instagram. And he posted this video message to Diddy's almost 20 million followers.
What's up, y'all? It's King Kong. And right now, I'm taking over my pop's Instagram. We're gonna be posting videos, spreading, good energy, and taking y'all down memory lane and all the positive things he did. So stay tuned and watch this. Let's go. We love you, Pops. Happy birthday.
Now, this, of course, is in relation to the fact that it was just Sean Combs' 55th birthday. His children, in fact, posted a video of them wishing their father a happy birthday while you can hear him in the background as he's on the call at the Metropolitan Detention Center. I said this before, it was the first time we actually heard Sean Combs' voice since all of this went down, since his arrest and his indictment. But since Christian took over the account has posted several times. First, it was the music video for Diddy's 1997 hit, It's All About the Benjamins. Also had the caption, "My pop's motivation to making music is always to make us dance and feel good. Happy birthday, Pop." Then there was a post featuring the 1998 music video for Victory. The caption read, "P. Diddy and the fam who you know do it better." And in that actual video, he's kind of running away from law enforcement and authorities. And the latest post, at least at the time of this recording, was a 1994 behind-the-scenes video of a recording session with Diddy and Notorious B.I.G. So the question, of course, becomes, what is the move here? Could this impact Sean Combs' case? Could it impact a potential jury? Well, for that, I want to bring in a special guest. I want to bring in Brian J. McMonigal, one of the most renowned criminal defense attorneys in the United States, from the Philly firm of McMonigal, Perry, McHugh, Meshach, and Davis. Brian famously represented Bill Cosby in his first criminal trial, also represented Meek Mill. Brian, so good to see you again. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Yeah, so that's what's going on with the Diddy case right now. You guys been brought up to date on what's going on with that. How about a little bit of Trump?
Some breaking news that we wanted to bring to you this hour. This just coming from the Department of Justice right now on that plan, that Iranian plan, a murder for hire plan targeting Donald Trump. We are getting some new information in from the Justice Department as is just unsealed a criminal charge today in a thwarted Iranian plot to kill President-elect Donald Trump before this week's presidential election. A criminal complaint filed in federal court in Manhattan alleges that an unnamed official in Iran's Parliamentary Revolutionary Guard instructed a contact this past September to put together a plan to surveil and ultimately kill Donald Trump. If the man identified as Farhad Shakiri was unable to create a plan by then, the complaint said the official told him Iran would pause its plan until after the presidential election because the official believed Trump would lose and it would be easier to assassinate him then the complaint said. Shakari told the FBI he didn't to you this hour, just coming from the Department of Justice right now on that plan, that Iranian plan, a murder for hire plan targeting Donald Trump. We are getting some new information in from the Justice Department as is just unsealed a criminal charge today in a thwarted Iranian plot to kill President-elect Donald Trump before this week's presidential election. A criminal complaint filed in federal court in Manhattan alleges that an unnamed official in Iran's Parliamentary Revolutionary Guard instructed a contact this past September to put together a plan to surveil and ultimately kill Donald Trump. If the man identified as Farhad Shakiri was unable to create a plan by then, the complaint said the official told him Iran would pause its plan until after the presidential election because the official believed Trump would lose and it would be easier to assassinate him then, the complaint said. Shakiri told the FBI he didn't plan to propose a plan to murder Trump within the 7 days the official had requested, according to the complaint. The plot with the charges unsealed just days after Trump's defeat of Democrat Kamala Harris reflects what federal officials have described as ongoing efforts by Iran to target U.S. government officials, including Trump, on U.S. soil here. So this is a breaking news alert that we just wanted to bring to you. I'm live now from Fox. Obviously, Donald Trump is the center of assassination plots. Unfortunately, we saw it play out this past summer with two, and that was domestically, but now there is also international concerns for his life as well. We know Iran is trying to ultimately kill now President-elect Donald Trump and looking for ways to do it. And in this complaint, talking about they thought he was going to lose the 2024 election and thought, okay, it's going to be much easier to assassinate him then when he doesn't have maybe all of the protection surrounding him. Well, things have changed. He won, of course, on early Wednesday morning, being declared the winner. And now, as you can imagine, security will be so ever tight around President-elect Donald Trump. But this news just coming in and really unsealed by the Department of Justice. And again, I just want to reiterate that this criminal complaint filed in federal court in Manhattan alleges that an unnamed official in Iran's Parliamentary Revolutionary Guard instructed a contact this past September to put together a plan to surveil and ultimately kill Donald Trump. So this was after the two assassination attempts domestically, and you're talking about after the RNC. So September, they wanted to try to put a hit on the former president at the time, now president-elect once again here. So they were trying to do it in a 7-day window. If it wasn't completed in that 7-day window, they were going to hold off until after the election because they thought he was going to lose then. So now, of course, so much security and really detail has to be put in on every measure for Donald Trump's movement, really from here until January 20th, when he will be sworn in as the 47th president of the United States here. So we'll keep an eye.
Yep. So that's what's going down, y'all. It's your boy Bugatti NYC, and like I always told you, could have went anywhere, but the fact that you came here to chill with me, I appreciate you. Bugatti. Big drip. Let's go. What y'all drinking? Great. But I know what I hear. 14% alcohol. Big drip. Let's go. What it's about to be with big drip in your hand. Yes, I like double shot. Combination. We ain't cutting for the ball. The real stand trouble come against the drip. Can't so dirty, make you flip and shake your can't. And we out. I see y'all tomorrow. Y'all have a blessed day. God bless. Like I always say, you could have went anywhere. But the fact, wait a minute. Make sure y'all go check out www.drinkbigdrip.com. Get yourself a 4-pack, 14% alcohol by volume, raspberry, grape, lemon, punch. It's off the chain, y'all. It's the new scissor. Remember sipping on some scissor? So what we did was we did it over. We changed the name, and now it's called Big Drip because we had to get with the times. www.drinkbigdrip.com. And like I always say, you could have went anywhere. But the fact that you came here to chill with me, I appreciate you. So till tomorrow, till the next time, y'all be safe out there. Get 'em! 1.